Well, you submitted another potential piece of evidence in this case, forensic scientist Megan Fletcher.
Yes, sir, I was.
And what was that?
This was a blue rain jacket, kind of poncho type jacket.
Do you know when that came into your custody? When you looked at it the first time?
October 5th, 2021.
Beg course is over. States 439.
Excuse me, Your Honor. We renew our earlier objection to this evidence under 403, but we don't have any additional objections.
Yes, sir. Submitted.
I first want to show you, I don't know if I'm going to use that ammo or not yet, but just showing what's 430 right now. Is that what you examined?
Those are images of what I examined, yes.
Images of what you examined?
Yes, sir.
And tell the folks where you conducted this examination, specifically.
I conducted this examination in the trace evidence laboratory.
I may need them. I'm sorry. In the trace laboratory.
Yes, sir.
And I first noticed there's a states 430. It appears that the let me put this on here. I'm sorry. It looks like it's on a table or something.
It's actually on two tables. It was large enough in order for us to be able to lay it out. We had to put two tables together.
Large enough you had to put two tables together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And why is it on this white, what's it on, what's underneath?
Underneath it is butcher paper, and that's used to protect the item of evidence, but also used to collect any trace evidence that may need to be examined.
And it looks like on the right there may be a ruler or a measurement.
Yes, it was just a sticker with ruler on it just to help guide us with the general size of it. We didn't take any specific measurements of anything.
But is it fair to say that that's how it looked when you saw it in October?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. October 8th?
October 5th.
5th, of 21. This report was dated October 8th. I apologize. You're with Miss Hall. You had your jacket on, your gloves on, your mask on?
Yes, sir.
And tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, did it take two of you to do this?
Yes, sir, it did.
Why?
So I gave Jamie Hall direct instructions on where to collect from, and while she was doing that, I was taking the notes.
Double teaming it?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to try not to get the question. I apologize. But 226. Is that what's depicted?
I can look at them. This jacket is the jacket I examined. My lab number, the item number 173, my initials, and the date in which we examined it is on there.
And is this the same picture of what we just showed, 430, I think?
It's the same image that you just, or this is the jacket that was in the image you just showed.
Okay, and I'm going to get this away. I don't want to bother any of the jurors, so I'll get this away here. So you and Ms. Hall laid this out to examine it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how did you determine specifically where you were going to check to see if there were any particles?
So typically when we're looking for gunshot primer residue, we're looking for somebody who was in the vicinity to the discharge of a firearm. For this particular case, we were provided information that something might have been transferred in this item that had gunshot primer residue on it. Therefore, we treated it like an item that needed to be checked for transfer. Therefore, we had to collect particle lifts from the entirety of the item, including the interior.
You can either do it from up there or down here. How did you do it? How did you what'd you start with? Collecting potential particle lift or particle lift.
So in total, we collected 25 particle lifts from the jacket. When I say we covered everything, we covered everything. We collected from the exterior of the hood, the right sleeve, the left sleeve, the right chest, the left chest. There's a middle pocket on the jacket, so we collected the whole middle section, including the pocket. The pocket also has like a hand warmer section. It's got a little bit of fleece inside. We collected from inside of that. And then we split the bottom half in two, collected one particle lift from the right side and one from the left. We then flipped the jacket over and took one particle lift from the right sleeve into the right back on the top of the jacket, the left sleeve into the back on the top of the jacket. Let me check this real quick. The back sample, the lower half was again split in half, and the right side was collected as well as the left side.
I'm going to ask you, you said 25. Were there a total of 52 particle lifts?
There were a total of 25 particle lifts.
How many on the outside?
How many particle lifts?
Yes, specifically, please.
13.
And can you tell us now where they were?
Where
Particle lists? Yes. Where did you swab specifically?
The outside of the hood.
Lifts, not swab. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
The outside of the hood, the front right sleeve, the front right chest, the front left sleeve, the front left chest, the middle pocket area, the interior of the pocket area, like a hand warmer section. The bottom half of the coat was split into two, so the bottom right side and the bottom left side. The coat was flipped over, and the sleeve and top half of the jacket on the right side was collected. The sleeve and top half of the jacket on the left side was collected, and then the bottom half, the right side was collected, and the left side was collected.
So you mentioned the pockets in here. Did you find anything inside these pockets? Warmers, or where you put your hands, if you will.
As far as particles of gunshot primer residue?
Yes.
No particles were detected inside that pocket there.
None.
None.
Okay. But you checked.
We did check.
Okay. And the particle lists on the outside of the jacket were how many?
A total of particle lifts?
Yes.
13, I believe.
Okay. And what does that tell you, as in your opinion, as an expert in the field of gunshot residue?
Oh, are you asking the number of particles of gunshot primer residue or particle lifts?
Particle list and then your findings.
Okay. There were 13 particle lifts collected from the exterior of the jacket, and I did find particles characteristic of gunshot primer residue on it.
Now, what does that mean?
That jacket could have been in the vicinity to the discharge of a firearm, or something that had gunshot residue on it could have transferred to that object. I can't tell you when that happened or how it happened.
And how many, again, inside the pockets you found no gunshot residue?
That's correct.
Why, you said it, you flipped it over and checked the inside.
Yes, we turned it inside out and also collected samples from the inside.
Have you done that before?
I don't believe I've done an interior unless it was explicitly stated that somebody was wearing a shirt or a coat inside out.
So you actually turned it inside out?
Correct.
And tell them what you and Ms. Hall did.
So once we turned it inside out, we collected particle lifts from the front and the back again. So the inside of the hood, the right sleeve to, you can see seam tape on this. It's that clear stuff that's kind of falling apart off of the jacket.
Yes, ma'am.
So we used that as kind of a guide for us. So we used the front right sleeve to the center section of the coat, the left front sleeve to the center section of the coat, the middle area directly behind the pocket, the right and the left side on the bottom half of the jacket. We turned it over again and did the right sleeve to the center point on the top of the jacket, the left sleeve to the center point on the top of the jacket, split the bottom in half again, did the right bottom half of the jacket and left bottom half of the jacket.
And what, after your examination, what were your results?
Particles characteristic of gunshot primer residue were also found on the interior of this jacket.
Is there a certain number, or could you have kept checking and checking? Was there a lot of gunshot primer residue inside of the jacket?
I would say there were a significant number of particles characteristic of gunshot primer residue on the inside of this jacket, yes.
How many did you determine?
I confirmed 38 particles characteristic.
And I'm saying determined, confirmed. You confirmed how many?
38.
38.
Yes, sir.
From the inside of the rain jacket, poncho,
Yes, sir.
whatever this is, correct?
Yes, sir.
Could you, and you taught me a word or two, is there something that kind of led you, there could have been more, but you just basically stopped checking?
So if we go back to when I talked about the automated analysis, it gives me a list of candidate features that may contain lead, barium, and antimony. There were significantly more particles were listed as candidate features containing the elements lead, barium, and antimony. I had to make an analyst decision based on my experience to stop at the number that I did.
Candidate features,
Yes, sir.
which meant if you went on, you would expect to find more gunshot primer residue, correct?
It could. I would have had to still check the morphology. I would have had to make sure that they were molten around. I also would have had to check that they didn't contain exclusionary elements like high amounts of iron and magnesium. But there was a possibility that there would have been more on it.
But you found 38
I confirmed 38, yes, sir.
and 23 candidate features if you'd gone further, correct?
More than 23.
More than 23?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did there come a point, if you had finished that examination, how long would it have taken you if you had checked everything?
If I had checked every single particle, it probably would have taken me a week.
So is there a percentage that you determine, hey, I'm going to stop at this point and say, here are my results? There's some other candidate features. Is there a guideline out there?
We don't have a specific guideline. It really is based on our experience. And for this particular case, I stopped anywhere between 10 and 20%. Some areas I was able to do a full 100% because there weren't that many to go look at. But other areas, I did have to make a determination.
Of when to stop?
Of when to stop, yes, sir.
Okay.
That it's on the inside in order for it to be consistent with transfer. An object or objects with a high amount of gunshot primer residue on it would have had to transfer to it. So they would have had to have more gunshot primer residue particles on them to begin with in order to transfer the amount of gunshot primer residue I found on this coat.
And as far as a recently fired firearm, would your findings be consistent with that item containing a recently fired firearm?
It is possible, yes.
With that number of particles?
With that number, it is possible.
Is there any other possibility? You stated one. Are there any more?
If the jacket was inside out and simply in the vicinity to the discharge of a firearm, it could have also had that number of particles on it.
In your opinion and just life and the job you love, that's a large number of particles, isn't it?
It was a significant amount of particles, yes, sir.
On the inside of the jacket?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not doing this for this, but just to show, I'm almost 6 feet. Well, I am 6 feet. A little over 6 feet on the record reflect. But anyway, does this look like a full-length garment to you?
I would say that it would fit most people down to their knees or so.
Beg court's indulgence. Just in conclusion again, as far as the hood, you said there was one particle outside the hood?
Yes, sir. I was able to confirm one particle on the exterior of the hood.
And how many particles on the inside of the hood did you determine there were?
3 particles were confirmed on the inside.
Inside of the hood?
Yes, sir.
And finally, since this is an inanimate object, how long would you expect that gunshot primer residue to stay on there?
Until it's actively removed.
Say that again, towards what?
Until it's actively removed.
That means washed, cleaned, whatever?
Yeah, brushing it, like aggressively brushing it off, washing it in a washing machine, cleaned, hosed off, something like that.
If a recently fired firearm was wrapped up inside that jacket, would that be consistent with your findings?
There is a possibility of that, yes, sir.
Thank you very much. That's all we have. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to adjourn for the day and resume at 9:30 tomorrow.